Hello, I'm Lisa Trail. Welcome to For Further Review. My guest today is Marilee Smith with our Coordinated School Health Department. Welcome today.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to be speaking about our new Farm to School program, and you are really hugely responsible for gathering enough information and submitting a grant so that this program is paid for us. And I understand you're one of the only ones in Tennessee to receive this grant. Is that right?
We are. We received a USDA Farm to School planning grant, which is an initial grant to start planning the stages of getting those fresh local fruits and vegetables into our school cafeterias. We were the only school and even place in Tennessee that was awarded the grant, and we were only one of 16 planning grants that were awarded nationwide.
So, Farm to School means a lot of things to different people depending on where you're coming from, but we are a city schools program. So a lot of the students that we have, most of our students, they haven't grown up on a farm. So what does this really mean to the student?
What it means to the student is they're getting quality, local, and regionally produced fruits and vegetables that are grown basically right in their backyard. It also means that they're going to learn the process of the farm to school process, that they know where their food comes from. They know where it's grown, how it's grown, and how it gets from the farm to the store.
So are the students going to be able to get their hands in the dirt and actually help grow some of this produce?
Absolutely. One of the big projects we have for this planning grant is a pilot garden site at Overall Creek Elementary, which will consist of raised bed gardens and a hoop house greenhouse, where we'll start to grow some of these vegetables ourselves to be sourced into the cafeteria. The students will be able to go out and work in those beds and in the greenhouses with a farmer educator who's really going to be able to teach them the process of growing the vegetables and how to get them ready for market and to get them ready to go into our cafeterias.
Okay, so a farmer educator, that was part of the grant.
Right.
So that's a new terminology for all of us, and it's pretty interesting. So you have actually hired someone to come on board through this grant to help us get this kicked off.
Right. It's a contract position with a person who is going to be able to maintain the gardens and hoop houses and also bring that element of education of teaching the children about that. So it is a new concept. It's a mix between a farmer and a teacher.
So not only are you reaching out with a farmer educator, you're also reaching out to a lot of community members. So when you are establishing this, who else are you asking questions to? I know that you've communicated with the teachers, the principals, but you also have an advisory committee. So what is that going to look like?
The advisory committee is made up of a lot of different people from our community that have expertise in this area that can really help guide us in the process of procuring and meeting farmers. And we've reached out to churches. We've reached out to Farm Credit, the Farm Bureau Ladies Club we have talked with. We've reached out to MTSU and their agri-science department. We've reached out to the UT Extension office, to the farmers markets. We've really tried to reach a wide variety of people that can really give a lot of different input to this project.
That's awesome. So the students are going to be able to grow some of the produce. Obviously, they're not going to be able to grow everything that's needed in the cafeterias. But the other part of this grant is the fact that the nutrition department is coming on board and will be able to actually purchase locally grown produce. So instead of buying it from California when it's in Middle Tennessee, they're going to try to get those contracts in Middle Tennessee. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It will be local, which local may reach into Kentucky and maybe down into Alabama a little bit. It's more of a mileage thing than it is in our own backyard, but we obviously want to work the more locally, the better. But the cafeteria plays a huge part in this grant. They're the ones who are actually going to be, doing the procurement process to get the fresh vegetables and fruits in. They're going to be the one that is going to be securing the contracts with the farmers, and those farm contracts can vary from year to year, so they'll be doing a lot of that outreach. They're going to be preparing it, so they're going to be cutting up a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. And part of this grant is buying equipment for the kitchens to be able to do that more easily.
So beginning in the spring, some of the food served across our cafeteria is going to look a little different, a little bit fresher. And I know that the nutrition department has really focused on that over the last year and really introduced a lot of new fresh vegetables and fruits to our students. So this is even going to be able to reach farther from that. So students may be getting something on their table today or through their cafeteria line today that was just picked fresh yesterday.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome.
It's great. And the good thing is they're going to know where it came from. They're going to be able to see that process and know that, hey, this was picked yesterday. And maybe those are signs and things we can put in our cafeterias to let our students know that. Maybe they're going to also get the opportunity to try a lot of things that they've never tried before.
That's great. And So are you, at any moment or any point in this grant, and again, this is a planning grant, so it's a year, I'm assuming, at this point. So will the students actually get to go out and meet some farmers and understand not only what our greenhouse hoop house looks like, but actually what a larger farm looks like?
Absolutely. One of the parts of this grant in teaching the farm to school process to all of our students, but taking all of our third graders throughout the system on a field trip to a local farm so that they can really get a hands-on experience of what that process looks like.
Wow, that's amazing. So when we're working with the teachers, so we're growing, we are purchasing local fruits and vegetables, and then you're working with the teachers as far as the education model. So is there a curriculum that goes along with Farm to School?
That is part of the planning process, is developing that curriculum. And some things that we're going to start out with is at least quarterly sending out flyers and sending out postcards and things like that that can go home with the students. So we're not only reaching out just to the students, but their families as well.
That's awesome. Where did you come up with the concept? I know this had to take a little bit of time and planning just to write such a grant as this.
We've talked a long time about doing school gardens. We've already kind of dabbled in that concept, but we really wanted something that was going to be sustainable for our district and something that was going to be big for our district, that was going to be able to produce a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables coming into those cafeterias. So it's an idea we've played around with a lot, and the USDA has had farm to school grants for several years, and we felt like this was the right time for us to move forward with that.
So how will you know if it's successful? How will you go back to the USDA and say, our planning grant was a success, now we want to move on to an implementation grant?
We are using an external evaluator so we can judge our progress. We're going to be doing some survey type things about what do you know about the farm to school process at the beginning of the grant and what do you know about it at the end. We're going to see how effective we are at procuring those contracts for local fruits and vegetables. So we'll be able to really measure our success in numbers and in just stories.
So what our community is going to be looking for is we're going to see more students understanding the farm-to-table concept, hoop houses, and a hoop house is a greenhouse, more or less. The first hoop house is going to be at Overall Creek, and then we're going to have some curriculum that goes along with it, so students are really going to understand the science of farming, really. So anything else that the public needs to know about this grant?
That we're really excited about it, that we are moving forward full speed ahead. We're hoping to have those raised beds and hoop house garden greenhouses in place by February. We have a farmer educator on board, and we are ready to move forward. One of the things we're going to be looking at during this process is also applying for the implementation grant from the USDA, and that grant, if we get it, will hopefully allow us to expand these pilot sites out to the rest of our district. So we're really having every school with hands-on experience in the farm to school process.
Okay, well, that is awesome. Thank you for joining us today. Farm to School is a new program that we're really happy to kick off. If you want more information about it, you can visit our website at cityschools.net. You can call Marilee Smith. She'd be happy to answer your questions, or you can send us an email. So thank you for watching, and we will see you in about a month.
Thank you.